today's video, we're going to discuss the other measures of location. So from the previous video, we have reviewed and we have discussed the measures of central tendency, and now we are going to have the discussion on the other measures of locations. Okay. Sa mean, median, and mode, median is also a measure of location in such a way that kinukuha natin yung gitna. Okay? So, again, median is one measure of location. But what are the other? Okay, so the other measure of location is, first one, we have the minimum. The minimum is the lowest value in the observation. So, if you would notice, sa ating data set, na example natin sa last video, our minimum value is 85. Okay, so lalagay lang natin that the minimum value is 85. Okay po. And then, next measure of location is the maximum, of course. If we have the minimum, then we have the maximum. So, ang maximum po is the highest value in the observation. So, ano po ba yung highest value sa observation natin? That is 95. So, our maximum value is 95. Okay? So, next, we also have heard about the word outliers. So, si outliers po before, tulad ng sinabi natin on the previous video, outliers are values that are extremely high or extremely low as compared to the other data in the observation. So, ito po yung malayong value dun sa karamihan ng value natin. But looking at our data here, looking at our example here, wala naman po tayong outlier dahil sila naman po, yung values naman po ay magkakalapit sa isa't isa. Okay po? So next is next measure of location is the one we so-called percentiles. Okay? So si percentile po, ibig sabihin is the measure of location that divides the distribution into 100 equal parts. So from the word is a percent. Kapag sinabi natin percent, di ba, una na agad tumatatak sa isip natin is 100%. Hence, percentile means we are dividing the data set into 100 equal parts. So, paano po natin makukuha yung value ng ating percentile? It's for us to get the value to where the value of the percentile is denoted by L. So, to compute for L, we have J. So, yung J natin is anong part dun sa 100? So, for example, the 40th. Okay, the 40th percentile or the 60th percentile, basta within 100. So that is J over 100 multiplied by N, to where N is what? N is our number of observations. Okay? So sa ating data, let's say for example, I am looking for P35. When we say P35, I am looking for the value of the lower 35% of the data. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung value ng J ko ay 35. And for me to get the value of L is the location. Okay? The value of or the location of the value that I am pertaining to, then we have here J over 100. So, ang ating value ng J, tulad ng sinabi natin kanina, is 35. So, the value of J is 35. And then what we're going to do with this is for us to divide it with 100. So we have 35 divided by 100. And then, i-multiply doon natin yung sagot with the value of N, which is 40. So kung natatandaan natin, the value of N is 40. So that is 0.35. So that is 0.35 multiplied by 40. Okay, so that would be 14. So, the location, the value of L is 14. Ibig sabihin, nasaan yung pang 14th na term? Because that pertains or that marks our 35th percentile. Okay? So, saan po natin nahanapin yung 14? So, titingin po ulit tayo dito sa kay less than cumulative frequency. So, ang ibig sabihin po ng 7 dito sa less than cumulative frequency ay mula una hanggang pang-pitong data. Then, dito naman, kay 11, ang ibig sabihin dito, mula una hanggang 11 na data. So, tanongin natin yung sarili natin, belong ba dito si 14? Hindi, dahil hanggang 11 nga lang siya. How about on this one? How about on this one? Nandito ba yung pang 14? Yes, kasi ang ibig sabihin nito mula una hanggang pang 15 na term. Eh, ang hinahanap lang naman natin yung pang 14th na term, di ba? But, you have to take note of this. If the value of L is a whole number, okay? So, is a whole number at kung mapapansin natin, yung na-compute natin kanina is a whole number, which is 14, then P of J is the mean of the Lth and the L plus 1 term. Ibig sabihin, yung L term mo at saka yung L plus 1 term mo, i-average mo pa kapag whole number yung value ng L mo. But, if not, if the value of L is not a whole number, then your jth percentile is the value of the next higher position. Let's say, for example, ang value ng L natin ay 14.2. Si 14.2, para makuha mo yung percentile, yung jth percentile niya, hindi si 14 yung kukunin mo, but the 15th term. Okay? Kasi nag-exceed ka na eh. 14.2 ka na. So, ibig sabihin, yung next higher position, yung kukunin mo. That is the 15th. But in our case, in our example, our location is on the 14th. It's a whole number. So, we are looking for the 14th and the 15th term kasi L plus 1 term. So, nasan po yung 14th and 15th? So, nandito po. Nandito po yung 14th and 15th term natin. And that is, both 87. So, if you're going to look for the average of 87 and 87, so that would be 87. Hence, our 35th percentile is 87. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? It means that the lower 35% of your data ay may grade na 87 pababa. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin niya. Okay po? So, let us try P78. Okay? We are looking for P78. Now, tulad ng ginawa natin, our value of J, alright, our value of J now is 78. And then, what we're going to do with this one is, we have 78 divided by 100. And, imomultiply po natin siya saan? Imomultiply po natin siya kay 40. So, that would be 0.78 multiplied by 40. Hence, we are looking for the 31.2 term. So, ang location daw niya is 31.2. This is what? This is not a whole number. Okay, so ang ibig sabihin based on the presentation here, kapag hindi whole number, we are to consider the next higher position. So if we have 31.2, then we will consider the 32nd term. Okay? So the 32nd term. So nasan po yung 32nd? Nasaan po yung 32nd? Nandito ba kay 27? So dito po tayo titingin kay less than cumulative. Nasaan po si 32nd? Nandito po kay 35. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, our 78th percentile would be what? Would be 92. So, yun po yung ating magiging 78th percentile, which means that the lower 78% of your data ay merong grade na 92 pababa, or 78% of your data ay merong grade na 92 pababa. Okay po? So now, there are actually other locations aside from percentiles. Meron din po dyan tayong tinatawag na quartiles at saka deciles. But then, kukunin natin si quartiles at saka si deciles in light with the knowledge of percentile. Kasi kapag sinabi nating percentile, di ba pag sinabi nating percentile, we are dividing the data set into what? Into 100 equal parts. But pag sinabi nating quartiles, we are only looking for, or we are only dividing the data set into 4 congruent parts. Now, kung 4 congruent parts yan, meron siyang equivalent dito kay percentile. Okay? The first quartile is actually the 25th percentile. Okay? Kasi yun yung unang yung unang ika-4 na bahagi ng 100, di ba? Then our second quartile, The second quartile is actually what? It actually divides the data set into two equal parts. So, ibig sabihin, yung second quartile mo is also your median. Kasi yung median, literal na gitna. And ano ba yung kalahati ng 100? So, that would be your 50th percentile. Okay, so that would be your 50th percentile. And if we're looking for our third quartile, so that would be P75 or the 75th percentile. Now, ano naman si decile? Si decile naman, we are actually dividing the whole dataset into 10 congruent parts. So, ibig sabihin, yung deciles mo, si decile 1 na sinasabi mo, yung first decile mo is actually your what? Your 10th percentile. O, diba? By 10 naman siya. So, yun lang po yung mga equivalent niya. Kapag second decile, that is actually your 20th. That is your 20th percentile. And then your third decile is the 30th, 40th, and so on and so forth. So, ganun lang po natin siya kunin. Hindi na po natin i-further discuss si quartiles and deciles dahil yun po ay sakop na ng knowledge natin ng percentiles. And that's how we have the other measures of location.